give me feedback. Who thinks I should wait? Say yes now.
I think maybe training you can start because otherwise you can spoil
You can
your
start.
Otherwise people will think, okay, we'll wait. Next time they're going to wait. So.
And I think the people who are on time, why should I make you guys wait as well? Anyway, it's all being videoed, courtesy of Bhagavatam. Definitely, because we don't need that anymore. So anyway, these are a couple of insights from the Bhagavad Gita. We already got one from 9.1 where Prabhupada says Bhagavad Gita, the knowledge of Krishna are full of potencies, and these potencies are active when we discuss this, so that's from the Gita. But there's two other very amazing aha experiences we had with the Gita. One of them, the first one, I have shared with many of you, and if you were at Radhadesh, you've heard this before. But personally, I don't think we can hear this enough. Some of you haven't heard it, so I'm going to share it again. And the second insight from the Gita I've never shared with anyone, except my husband. So I'll share that with you after the first one. So the first one is from Bhagavad Gita 1.1 purport. It's the two opening sentences of Prabhupada's purport. And this is it. This is the first opening sentence. Who would like to read it loud? Everyone can read it. Let's read it together, yeah?
We can read together.
Bhagavad Gita is the widely read, mystic science summarized in Gita Mahatmya, glorification of Gita. This is Prabhupada's opening sentence. I mean, if I was writing an opening sentence to the Bhagavad Gita, I would have said something like, Bhagavad Gita was spoken 5,000 years ago in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, or it's a chapter in the Mahabharata, or spoken by Krishna to Arjuna. Prabhupada starts it with this sentence. Bhagavad Gita is the widely read theistic science summarized in the Gita Mahatmya, glorification of Gita. And, you know, it seems a bit, why with this sentence? But if you analyze this sentence, in this sentence and the next sentence, Prabhupada is actually giving us the key to how to direct our life, just in this sentence and the next. So I'm going to analyze it with you, and then I hope you will see. Everyone I've analyzed this for has gone, oh my God, I never saw it. And I really hope you have that experience today. So we're going to just focus on the bits of the sentence that I have put in bold and underlined, okay? So let's read that part of the sentence. The rest of it is also very important, but I'm just going to focus on this part for now. Let's read it together. Bhagavad Gita is summarized in the Gita Mahatmya, glorification of the Gita. That's the part we're going to focus on. So if I was to paraphrase that, would you agree with me that I could paraphrase that and say the summary of Bhagavad Gita is in the Gita Mahatmya? Yes? Is that correct? Yeah? Everyone agree? That's a truthful repetition, paraphrase of the point. So now, if we want to understand the secret, because you know Bhagavad Gita is not just a Shushukam, but it's Guya, it's Raja Guya. It's the most secret of all secrets. It's an open secret. And this is one of those sentences where Prabhupada is open. Any one of us can read it, but we won't understand the secret message behind it if we don't analyze it. So let's analyze this, okay? In order to analyze it, we have to know the answer to a few questions. And those of you I've shared this with, you're very welcome to tell me the answers. I don't mind. So the first question we have to be able to answer is, what is the summary of the Gita? Because Prabhupada tells us we find this summary in the Gita Mahatmya. He tells us we will find this summary in the Gita Mahatmya. Someone repeat that back to me. What is Prabhupada telling us?
We will find the summary of Bhagavad Gita in the Gita Mahatmya.
Thank you, someone's listening. So we need to know what is the summary of the Gita? We need to know what is the Gita Mahatmya? I didn't know for years. What is the Gita Mahatmya? And we have to know where I can find the summary of the Gita in the Gita Mahatmya. If we answer those three questions, we will discover an amazing transformational knowledge that we can use in our lives. Okay? So who knows what is the summary of the Gita, Bhagavad Gita? If I've told you, you're welcome to say it. Hands up if you know the answer. What is the summary of Bhagavad Gita? Somebody knows it? Anyone else know it? Anyone else know what it is? I've shared this with quite a few people in this room. Ramananda, I've shared it with you too. You don't remember? Oh good, I'll share it with you again. Don't forget this, it's very important. Prabhupada opens this Gita with it. Shamin, you know it? Who else knows it? Shakti, do you know what is the summary of the Bhagavad Gita? Rusty. Okay, please don't forget this. I'm going to share it with you again. Gopi, do you know it?
I'm not sure.
Okay, if you have your Bhagavad Gita, go to chapter 18, text 66, and go, I think, to the second paragraph, halfway down the paragraph, maybe the second or first. There's a sentence that says,
18 which verse?
66.
I don't know what I'm doing with this. I'm trying to find 1866. Okay. Anyway, what is the Gita Mahatmya? I'm actually confused with my thing. I've left out of my slideshow. You're going to have to forgive me. But go to Bhagavad Gita, 1866, and let me just see which paragraph it is.
It's first paragraph.
First paragraph. Halfway down the paragraph, there is a sentence beginning now. Please, if you found it, just read it aloud. It doesn't matter how many people read aloud.
Now in
Summarizing Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that our Jews should give up all the processes that have been explained to him. He should simply surrender to Krishna. That surrender will save him from all kinds of sinful reactions. Personally promises to protect him.
Now, in summarizing Bhagavad Gita, now means in this verse, 1866. Prabhupada is telling us now, this verse, Krishna is giving us the summary of Bhagavad Gita. And what is the summary of Bhagavad Gita? Surrender to Krishna. What will happen if we surrender?
Save from sinful reactions.
Krishna will protect us, save us from our sinful reactions. Prabhu, why do we suffer ill health? Why do we suffer depression? Why do we suffer relationship problems? Why do we suffer financial problems? What are all these things? What are all these forms of suffering we experience?
We don't surrender. Reactions.
They are?
We don't surrender.
But they are reactions to what?
Our
Sins. Why is it that I suffer from a bad back and you don't? Because I have a sinful reaction that gives me a bad back and you don't. It's not happening by chance. Everything we suffer, from mental to physical to financial to relationships, is a reaction to a past sinful reaction, to a past sinful act we've done. Everything we suffer. And what is Krishna promising us in this verse?
That if we surrender to him, he'll protect us.
He'll protect us. This is the solution to your health problems, to your financial problems, to your depression problems, to your mental anxiety or whatever problems, to your relationship problems. All of these things are sinful reactions, and Krishna says, I will protect you from all of it. I will protect you from your ill health. I will protect you from your financial problems. I will protect you from your depression problems, from your everything. I will protect you if you surrender.
Can you define surrender, Krishna?
Okay, we're going to do that. We're not going to define it. We're going to allow Prabhupada to show us. Because in that first sentence, he's giving us the clue what is surrender. Because he tells us this verse is in the Gita Mahatmya. And if we actually make an effort to go to the Gita Mahatmya, Prabhupada's not telling us for no reason. He's telling us for a reason that it's in the Gita Mahatmya. Because if we go to the Gita Mahatmya, we're going to get a definition of surrender. So, what is the Gita Mahatmya? Does anyone know what is the Gita Mahatmya?
Is it the books written by the Shiva?
Yes, I thought that for years, and it is, you're right. And I looked through that book several times and I gave up because I couldn't find. 1866 in that book. And then I was doing this kind of discussion with devotees in Mayapur, and one of the ladies who teaches Bhakti Shastri, Shama, I forget her name, she told me there's another Gita Mahatmya. And that second Gita Mahatmya, Prabhupada has put in the introduction of his Bhagavad Gita. So if you flip your book back, if you go to go to 1.1 and then work back, you will see the last page of the introduction. You will find Gita Mahatmya 7. There's 7 verses spoken, composed by Adi Shankaracharya. It's a 7-verse poem that Prabhupada has put in the introduction of his Gita. Please don't forget this knowledge, because this knowledge is how we can get protection from everything that troubles us. So go to your Bhagavad Gita if you've got it and work back. You'll see Gita Mahatmya 7. You'll see Gita Mahatmya 6. Working back, you'll see Gita Mahatmya 5. You'll see Gita Mahatmya 4. You'll see Gita Mahatmya 3. And then you'll see
Number 2.
But before you see number 2, what are you going to see?
Abandon all varieties of religion. And just surrender unto me.
1866. Prabhupada cites it. He cites 1866 and he puts it with Gita Mahatmya 2. Have anyone got your Gitas with you? Go to your introductions if you do, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to show you, I've brought it here. So this is what you will find in your introduction to Bhagavad Gita, towards the end. He's done Gita Mahatmya 3, and then before Gita Mahatmya 3, he cites 1866, right next to citing Gita Mahatmya 2. He puts Gita Mahatmya 2 and 1866 together. That should give us a clue that that's the verse he's thinking of. So let's read that verse. Let's read Gita Mahatmya. We won't need to read the Sanskrit, but we can read the translation of the Sanskrit. We can read it aloud together. If one reads Bhagavad Gita very sincerely and with all seriousness, then by the grace of the Lord, the reactions of his past misdeeds will not act upon him. The Lord says very loudly in the last portion of Bhagavad Gita, Savadama Parichaja Mamekam Sharanam Aham Savadama Mokshayashrama. So Prabhupada is confirming what Gita Mahatmya 2 is saying by citing 1866. He's saying the same point is in 1866. That by the grace of the Lord, our past karmic misreactions will not act on us. If we do what? Read it
Sincerely and with all seriousness.
seriously and sincerely. So, Bhagavad Gita 1866 says, if we surrender to Krishna, what will happen? Who will protect us? Krishna will protect us. How can we protect ourselves? We make so many arrangements, we work so hard, 2 jobs, this and that, and then something completely out of the blue happens to us. But Krishna can protect us from everything. Gita Mahatmya 2, what does Gita Mahatmya 2 says? If we do what?
Read sincerely with all seriousness.
Read Bhagavad Gita sincerely, then what will happen? And in the very first sentence of his purport, Prabhupada is telling us, this is the same as that. He's telling us the summary of the Gita is being correctly explained to us in the Gita Mahatmya 2. So Prabhupada is telling us, surrender to Krishna. Adi Shankaracharya got it right when he explained surrender to be to read Gita sincerely and with all seriousness. Do you agree with me or not?
To surrender is to read Gita sincerely.
And with all seriousness. Prabhupada says in his first sentence of the purport, Bhagavad Gita is summarized in the Gita Mahatmya. The summary of the Gita is in the Gita Mahatmya. He's telling us this is here. He's telling us this is explained to you here. Do you agree with that? Yes?
So, my understanding is that to demonstrate our surrender, that is, reading with sincerity and seriously is demonstrating our surrender.
Yes, that is what surrender is. Because for years I didn't know, I thought I had to give all my money, I thought I had to go to the temple, I thought I had to give all, no. Surrender means do this. Read Gita, what? Suddenly life became easier.
This is like sincerely, it appears like to be very easy, but it's not.
Yes.
It's just not. Like to get into that level, first you have to be like chanting the 16 rounds daily, following the regulated principle, doing devotional service, and then after that you can get to the platform of being sincere towards the Lord.
Okay, you're saying to read Gita is very high elevated sincerely. Well, in the second sentence of his introduction, Prabhupada makes it doable for us. He doesn't say all these. He defines sincerely and with all seriousness. If anyone's got your Gita, this is what is the first two sentences from Prabhupada's report, 1:1. This is it. We've read the first sentence, we'll read it again, and that's the second sentence. Okay? So let's read both sentences together. Bhagavad Gita is the widely read mystic science summarized in the Gita Mahatmya. There it says that one should read Bhagavad Gita very scrutinizingly with the help of a person devoted to Krishna and try to understand it without personally motivated interpretations. When Prabhupada says, there it says, what's he referring to? Gita Mahatmya. Which verse of Gita Mahatmya? Second verse, Gita Mahatmya 2. He's referring to the same verse that he was referring to in the first sentence. The first sentence, it was Gita Mahatmya 2. Now he's telling us, in that verse, we're told we should read Gita very scrutinizingly with the help of a person who's a devotee of Sri Krishna and try to understand it without personally motivated interpretation. So let's look at that. Gita Mahatmya says, read Gita seriously and sincerely. Yes? Prabhupada unpacks that. He tells us what that means. He puts it in his own words. He defines what it means to read Gita seriously and with all sincerity. He tells us it has these 4 elements. What are the 4 elements? Read Gita very scrutinizingly. That's serious. Every word. Read with the help of a person who's a devotee of Sri Krishna. 3. Try to understand it. He doesn't even say understand it. What does he say? Try. That's the effort. Make the effort to understand it. And 4.
Without personally motivated interpretations.
Now the seminar we do next week is about how we can do those 4 things. How we can try, how we can scrutinize, how we can do it with the help of a person who's a devotee of Sri Krishna, and how we can do it without personally motivated interpretations. That's the training. And all the evidences we show are from Prabhupada. We're just sharing with you the kind of like life-changing things we've heard. So next week we're going to actually unpack that even more. But in that second sentence, Prabhupada in one sentence is giving us a doable definition of surrender. And if we just do that, if we just scrutinize Bhagavad Gita with the help of a person who's a devotee of Sri Krishna and try to understand it without personally motivated interpretations, that's surrender. What will happen? What will happen in our lives? Krishna will protect us. And you know, there's the reason I'm so passionate about this. I'm so passionate about this because if you wind my life back to 1996, I had every problem in the book. And I took me and my husband took complete shelter of this process. Just half an hour in the morning and half an hour in the evening. We didn't start twice a day, we started once a day. 1.5 hour session a day. And we saw, oh my God, this is making the biggest change in our lives. So we brought it up to twice a day, half a sandwich. And I see every single unsolvable problem I had in my life, Krishna solved. And they were each unsolvable as far as I was concerned. We did not have the intelligence to solve the mess we had made of our lives. But Krishna solved every single problem. And now we're happy. And I'm really passionate because if we're struggling, we don't have to keep struggling by ourselves. We cannot overcome the mature energy by ourselves. What the most intelligent thing to do is take shelter, surrender, discuss, do this. And Krishna will solve all the problems of our lives. So that's the first insight from the Bhagavad Gita. And I beg you, don't forget this. This is the key to your freedom from misery. Surrender. And what is surrender? And please share it with other people. Help people to see it. Yes?
Just one answer to Matis's question about sincerity. I understand from what you said that sincerity is not a sentiment, just a sentiment. It has some elements in it.
Yes.
If we don't have personal motivation, and if we just try to understand and then the sincerity is there.
Yes. It's an action. Sincerity is an action that is comprised of those 4 elements. This is a quote from the 2nd canto, because, some of us may think I don't have any problems in life. I mean, I certainly had a lot of problems. But I found this quote very interesting. It's not from the Gita, it's from the Bhagavatam, but I just wanted to add it in there. So maybe we can read this together aloud. Can you see it? Yeah, is it readable? So please do read it aloud. Hear your own voice saying it. Okay? Living in the conditional life is just like flying a boat in the middle of the ocean. One is completely out of the ocean, and at every moment there is every chance of being drowned in the ocean by slight agitation. If the atmosphere is all right, the boat can fly very easily, undoubtedly. But if there is a storm, fog, wind, or cloud, there is every possibility of being drowned in the ocean. No one can control the winds of the ocean, however they may be extremely well equipped. One who has crossed the ocean by ship may have sufficient experience of such dependence upon the mercy of the ocean. But one can ride over the ocean by the grace of the Lord very easily, without any fear of storm or fog. It all depends on the will of the Lord. No one can help if there is some unfortunate danger in the state of conditional life. The devotees of the Lord, however, cross the ocean of material existence without anxiety, because a pure devotee is always protected by the Lord. The Lord gives special attention to his devotees in their activities within the material conditional life. Therefore, everyone should take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord and be a pure devotee of the Lord by all means. So what is Prabhupada doing here? What's the analogy he's using? What's the analogy? Boat and ocean. What happens when we're in a ship in the ocean or in a boat in the ocean? What's he telling us about that? Huh?
Storm.
If a storm comes, what's going to happen?
Drown.
You're going to drown. And Prabhupada says the same thing with the ocean of material life. We may think, oh no, the weather's good, everything's going well for me. But you don't know when the storm is going to come. You may have a nice career, nice marriage, nice kids. My life's fine. I've got, plain sailing seas. But you don't know when the storm is going to come. And when it comes, no one can save us. No one can save us, but Krishna can. Krishna can. And he will, if we take shelter, if we surrender. That's a pure devotee. A pure devotee, green mango, is someone who surrenders, who does this. That's where green mango begins. If we do it, we'll always be protected by the Lord. Do you agree or disagree? I can get really passionate about this, so please forgive me. You can tell me to tone it down a bit, but for me, this really excites me. And I've seen it work in life. So I want to share with you another insight from the Gita. This is from 7:16. Okay? So 7:16 talks about 4 kinds of pious people who come to Krishna consciousness. Do you know this first? So if you got your Gita, you can read it aloud for me, 7:16. I'll make sure that I let you out on time.
Okay, so Obes, is this the one?
Yes.
Okay. Obes among Bharata, 4 kinds of pious men begin to surrender devotional service. Begin to render devotional service unto me. The distressed, the desire of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for the knowledge of the Absolute.
So the distressed, the inquisitive, the desire of wealth, and he who is searching for knowledge of the Absolute. So do any of us fall in any of those 4 categories? If so, which category? Distressed. Anyone in that category? Distressed? You know what? I thought that too. When I joined, everyone told me, because the ones who were preaching to me, they knew I was distressed. And they said, oh, you're one of these 4 pious people. You're the distressed. It wasn't until years later, when we were doing this scrutinizing study, that I realized I'm not one of these 4 pious people. If you have your Bhagavad Gita in front of you, please read the opening verse of the opening paragraph. Read it aloud. I don't care how many people read it. Please read it. Get involved. Hear what Prabhupada is saying. Repeat it. Make it yours. What is Prabhupada saying in the opening paragraph? If you've got it, read it. Read it aloud.
Okay. Unlike the miscreants, these are adherents of the regulated principles of the scriptures, and they are called
Read it out.
Sukrina.
Applying the rules and regulations of Scripture.
Okay. Are those who obey the rules and regulations of scriptures. The morals and social laws
and
are
more or less devoted to the Supreme Lord.
That's the Sukritinas. The Sukritinas, and there are Sukritinas, I'm sure, in this room, but I wasn't one of them. Sukritinas are people who are, please repeat it, so say it nice and loud. Who are the Sukritinas? They're already obeying the rules and regulations of Scripture. They are already worshipping God. They're already not doing meat eating, illicit sex, intoxication, and gambling. They're already worshipping the Lord on a regular basis. We may be aspiring to become Sukritinas now. Some of us probably were Sukritinas from birth, but I know I wasn't. I wasn't following the rules and regulations. I wasn't worshipping God. I was an agnostic. I didn't even really believe in Him. So I wasn't a Sukritina. Now the second paragraph, Prabhupada makes a very interesting comment. This is in the second paragraph of that purport. We can all read this sentence together. If you have it in your Gita, find it in the Gita, make it the Gita yours.
Which purports?
This is the same purport, 7:16.
As far as the miscreants
It's
are
in the
concerned.
second paragraph.
Yeah.
You know, when I refer to things, we see the evidences, connect with the evidences. Okay, let's read it aloud together. As far as the miscreants are concerned, for their devotional service is very difficult, because their lives are selfish, irregular, and without spiritual goals. But even some of them, by chance, when they come in contact with a pure devotee, also become pure devotees. And that's why I was struggling for so many years in devotional service, because I found devotional service hard. I found I could never be a jari. The with regularity, and they're not eating, and they're not drinking, and punctuality was like, oh, no matter how hard I try to be regular, I'm irregular by nature. I keep trying, it's not that I don't try for it, but it's very hard for me. Selfish. I wanted liberation. I wasn't interested in pleasing Krishna. I wanted to please Krishna, but why? Because I wanted liberation. That's a selfish goal. That is not. A non-selfish goal, I want to please Krishna, but there is no reason why, because I wanted him to be pleased. You know, and selfish, yes, basically all of those things. And that's why I struggled for so long in devotional service. I found it hard, I was depressed, because I was discreet enough. But that second part that really gave me hope. There is hope for me. Even though I'm a discreet enough, there is hope for me. If I come in contact with a pure devotee, I can become a pure devotee in this life. So that's the key. For me, the key is that contact with a pure devotee, or association with a pure devotee. It's another way of saying the same thing, association with a pure devotee. That is the hope for the discreetness. You know, when I joined, amongst people in our generation who joined, I'm sure all of you can say that about your generations, I think something like, what percentage do you think are still here?
10%.
10% are still here. We're all discreetness, we all came from more or less the same kind of background. We've gone, you know. And I could have gone. I could have been one of those who went, you know. But it was this association with Prabhupada that kept me not only in Krishna consciousness, but happily in Krishna consciousness. Happily. So, this is from the Bhagavatam. Please let's read this together. It does not matter to what category in this world the audience belongs. If one meekly and submissively hears about the activities of the Lord from a realized soul, he will be able to conquer the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is unconquerable by any other process. Hearing or associating with devotees is the most important function for self-realization. So association means to hear. Contact with the pure devotee means to hear. That's what it means. If I hear from this topmost devotee, I can also conquer the Supreme Lord. It doesn't matter what category I'm in, whether I'm a Sukritaner or a Discreetaner. If I have contact with the pure devotee, if I hear from him, I can conquer Krishna, and he will allow me to become his pure devotee. He will change my heart. There will be transformation. It all depends on the hearing, that contact with the pure devotee. So those of us in this room who, like me, sweetness, please focus on this. You will be happy. And those of us who are sweetness, whether you do this or not, you'll be all right. But you're preaching. Majority of people who come to Krishna consciousness in Kali Yuga are the sweetness. So even if you happen to be a sweetness, if you're preaching to the majority of people who come to be effective to help them, you need to know how to do this and help them to do it. You need to know how to help them to connect, to hear from Srila Prabhupada. Because that's the only thing that's going to help us. So these are two quotes that I'm really passionate about. Please tell me what you understood. Please tell me your reactions to what you heard. So please, you know, you can speak up now. I've left you all dumbfounded. Would you like to go around and invite you to speak? Tell me what you've understood and what reaction you're going to have.
From all we discussed, that
This 716.
That even if you don't have piety, or some have piety, some don't have piety. If you don't have, even if you don't have, if you just hear from your devotee and discuss with the devotee, then you can also talk with the devotee.
Yes.
And all your problems will be solved, and Krishna will protect you from all sinful reactions.
Yes. Does anyone else, thank you, you understood me perfectly. Does anyone else have a different understanding from Radha Shakti, or do you have the same understanding? Please, Anna.
remembering pastime Srila Prabhupada where the devotees would chant some kind of verse, you know, like the qualifications to chant the holy name. You know, like you have to bathe in all the holy rivers and done all these, you know, we've read verses today about charity and, you know, sacrifices and all these things. And like, Srila Prabhupada, we don't think we've done any of those things. You know, like, we don't think we have that qualification. And he said to them, I am your qualification.
I've created your
Yeah,
country.
exactly.
Yes.
So, just it shows this point of how we may be disrespected, but by associating with pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, we have all the hope, endless hope in the world. And just another quote of Srila Prabhupada, he says, you know, just with one kick, I can just, you know, my mercy can just solve everything for you.
Yes.
Just
Actually,
like
he was
Krishna
wearing
said.
he was wearing something that they do for astrology. And I was, why are you wearing that? He said it was to ward off some planet. Krishna, because with one kick, Krishna can take away all your bad planets. I think that's what you're referring to, was it? Yeah.
I just, it's a vague memory, but the simplicity comes to mind. That why struggle? Like, you know, this analogy about trying to get to the top floor of the building, you can climb up the stairs, or you can just take the elevator.
Yes.
And it's like, if that's been given to us, then we should really take advantage.
Yes. And it's so easy. So, Sadhu, you heard so well. You come up with such nice ways of repeating the same point. It makes me feel that you really connected with it. And you know, Prabhu, why make our lives difficult? We're all now on the verge, we're actually on the threshold of eternality. If we make the effort to take the training, to hear properly, and then we apply what we learn, half an hour a day, in this life we can cross over and become pure devotees of the Lord. And if not, we will struggle with depression, with difficulties, and we'll think, it's not real, it didn't work for me. Just half an hour a day. First, come and get the training. Let us show you the principles. Let us help you to apply those principles. But then, only you can apply it. Only you can make that time. And it is the highest leverage half an hour in your day that you could possibly use it for. It will solve every other problem. So today's session was really about helping you to understand the importance. Next week we'll talk about the principles and we'll get into the nitty-gritty. But without us understanding the value and the benefit to us, we're not going to do it. So we wanted to start today by showing you the benefit to you. There is one other quote, but you can read this yourselves at home. It's 1326. The whole verse in purport is Prabhupada saying how in this day and age, hearing is the key thing. That's the whole thrust of 1326. But I actually wanted to pause because, we can read that, but I wanted to open it up to comments, questions. And some of you asked questions at the beginning. Do you feel those questions were answered? And so I'll just open it up now to general everyone else. Thank you for listening so patiently. So what does anyone take with them? What has anyone taken from this? What's people's reactions?
So Krishna says, surrender unto me and abandon all authority of religion and surrender to me, as they become declare sinful reactions from past misdeeds. So when devotees carry some ailments or some condition, even when they surrender, they follow that process nicely and they carry it, but they still have this, carry something. So am I to understand that Krishna will the process more effective in stopping future reactions than from past reactions? Because as a devotee you surrender, you can still carry a condition or whatever it is you're suffering with. Some people call it the mercy of Krishna. He's given me something that can happily, or I can enjoy carrying it because it's the mercy of Krishna. And he does what he pleases, what pleases him. So it's not all the time that he takes away past mistakes. How do we reconcile it?
So what I understand you to be saying, sir, because you want to understand that.
can understand it. You're saying, you see devotees suffering even though they're following the process nicely. And although Krishna says, I will protect you, Savadam, Mami Kam Sharanam, Ham Tong Sam Papi, from all your sins. So does that mean from future sins? Because it doesn't appear that they necessarily stop suffering at that point in this lifetime. May get ill, so many things may happen.
Yeah, you're counted by statement.
Yeah.
I answer it a little differently. The way I understood you, and you can please correct me, is let's say I've already got a sinful reaction. Let's say I've got a hernia, or I've got paralysis in my arm. That's already happened. So Krishna's not going to take that paralysis away. But if I've got some other sinful reaction waiting in store for me, let's say in the future I'm going to get a stroke, he may stop the stroke from happening because it's not happened yet. So that's what I understand you to be saying, that he may stop the stroke because it's not happened yet, but I've already got, my paralysis, so he's not going to change that. Did I understand you correctly?
Yes.
Future reaction.
Yeah, the reactions that are still to come, he can stop those, but the reactions that have already come, well, they've already come, so I have to live with them, I have to just kind of put up with them.
Am I to understand, are we to understand that is a situation that's where...
He says, all your suffering, the way I understand it is, either he'll give you the intelligence how to rectify that, or he'll give you the intelligence how not to suffer because of it. Pain is inevitable. We're all going to die, that's painful. His Krishna's not going to stop that. But suffering is not.
It's a choice.
It's a choice.
Okay.
And he will give us the internal realization, either how to stop the pain from happening, like that's happened to me a lot, it gives you the intelligence how to, actually what to do about my pain, or he gives you the internal realization not to suffer because of it. One way or another, he protects us, promises.
I mean, what does the protection actually mean? How would any of you understand that? Krishna will protect us. What is his protection? Because devotees die, they get killed, right? Even while they're preaching, Prabhupada says, like Lord Jesus Christ, they crucified him. Haridas Thakur was thrashed in so many marketplaces. What does it mean to be protected?
Is it, from my understanding, is it like he'll protect your bhakti? Not necessarily all the time the physical aspect of us.
Protect our bhakti?
Yeah, not necessarily the physical body, like the body, but he'll protect our devotional service or bhakti.
Our faith, our attraction, our internal feelings of God.
If you protect the process, within internal processes.
Right.
Can I also, could you say one second?
Yeah, it was in the same line where I think is protecting, is keeping us in this Krishna consciousness, in fact, that we get, by being with him, we get to transcend whatever happened on this bodily platform. We don't get affected.
Yes, very nice. Yes, you're saying whatever happens in our body, we protect our consciousness.
Yeah.
So we're not affected by it.
Yeah, it's basically the same. It's like things, some of us are like have read a Gita with like some, with a guru that has come done that, you put a devotional service, all things, no? And then things continue happening. But the only difference I see from the time before when I was not a devotee is that they just don't affect me so much. I'm still like, I'm so immersed in like Krishna consciousness that like the things are happening, but they don't have an impact on me. And I will wait for the Lord to send a solution. Or like if something is happening that is making a change, I see it as the Lord, as a plan of the Lord. Something he wants to do. He's doing something to change something for some reason that I don't know just yet. Because I feel things are still happening, but it's just not, they don't impact you. That's the only big difference that I see.
Very nice. Same point. That internally you get a whole different perspective.
Yeah, I get a different perspective of things.
Very true. And let's look at it and then come back.
I was just reading something, a book by one of the Swamis in our movement, and he was sharing the pastime of Prahlad Maharaj and how he didn't actually pray to be protected at
before when he was, his life was put at risk in the most extreme ways, which, being thrown into a pit of snakes and being given poison to drink, being thrown off a cliff, being put into fire. And he was saying that there's different levels of prayer, and one level of prayer is like whether it's misfortune or fortune, you pray, like we were saying, like how can my bhakti be protected? Like how can I respond to the situation, still serve you? How can I still be an instrument of your grace in this situation? So that desire to serve is protected, I would say. Like you don't lose that at any moment. And there's that verse in Bhagavatam, like ahoituki, aputiyata, it's unmotivated and it's uninterrupted. So I think if Krishna's protecting us, that desire to serve unconditionally without interruption is protected.
I would like to pick up on this point, if I may. So first of all, you were citing, actually heard from the sannyasi Navratha, talking about Prahlad, how Prahlad never prayed for protection, even when he was in the most dangerous situations. And similarly, we shouldn't pray for protection. We should simply pray that our bhakti be protected, that we can always engage in unalloyed, uninterrupted devotional service. Did I understand you?
Yeah.
Can I make a response to that? And it's not to negate that point. That is definitely the highest point. But remember the discreetness about us. I'm not talking about anyone here, but about discreetness. If we happen to be the discreet in that category, which I was, and possibly am, one of the characteristics of the discreet is we are selfish and we don't have spiritual goals. So it's artificial. When I've stood a discreet and I actually don't have spiritual goals, I'm interested in my own protection. It's artificial for me to pretend I'm not. Just like it's artificial for me to recite Queen Kunti's prayer. Let suffering come again and again. I've known devotees who prayed that and then regretted it because it was artificial for them to pray that. So if we are on that platform, fantastic. But I've discovered in my life, because I was discreet enough, and I was just looking for protection. Protection from all my problems. And I find that Krishna gave me even that kind of protection. And from getting that kind of protection in a way that computed in my mind, Krishna just helped me. That kind of increased my faith in him, and it's increasing my gratitude towards him. And for me, gratitude is the precursor of love. I don't love Krishna, but I'm feeling increasingly grateful to him. And that gratitude, I hope, by the Lord's grace, will one day mature into love. So whatever standard we're on, we really can't pretend we're something else. At any stage, let's be real. And if we are that advanced stage like Prahlad, well, I don't care about my that's fine. But if we're not, I just have to admit it. I needed Krishna to help me out materially, and he did. And that's why I'm so passionate.
Share something in response to that as well. And it reminds me of that verse where it says Akama Sarva Kama Moksha Kama Udarani. Krishna saying that even if you're full of material desires, if that's where you're at, you have no material desires, or if you're on the level of Prahlad, they just still approach you, like don't forget me.
And he'll reciprocate.
He'll reciprocate, yeah. Thanks. Thank you.
It makes me remember that I was remembering hearing the lecture of Prabhupada and saying, a devotee of the Lord, no matter what is the situation, whether it's seemingly bad or good, you always see it at the mercy of the Lord and as an opportunity to actually serve the Lord. So it's a very nice thought to keep in mind, that whatever happens, if we can see it is a plan, like Manjari said, it's a plan of the Lord. He knows better than us. He has the bigger picture.
Yes.
And there is a plan that even if the suffering is happening, but it can actually be beneficial for us to be a better servant and grow spiritually.
Yes. It's absolutely true. For those of us who secretiness, that vision will come naturally. For those of us who discretiness, that vision will come through the discussions. When you're daily discussing Prabhupada's books, the way we're going to show you in the next 2 weeks, you'll get that realization. So what seemed like a terrible thing, through your discussions, you begin to get a different perspective. So some of us need a little bit of help to get that vision. That's what the discussions did for us. They gave us that little help.
Can I just add something to Mataji's point there? Are we to understand then that Krishna enjoys a particular rasa with his devotees when they're suffering and they remain undeviated through that suffering and perform their service? Is there a particular type of rasa there that Krishna enjoys? And he may not take away that suffering, but he will allow them to, just because they're suffering, they're carrying a handicap of some kind, but they're not undeviated.
This is a really good point, and it's a point we should discuss with when we've got Shastric evidences in front of us, because it's the kind of esoteric point that we could easily start speculating about. But it's a really good point, and I'd like you to hold it and maybe bring it up in your Shastric discussions. But personally, I would just like to spend the last half an hour just going through every single person and just asking you, what did you get from today's session? What are you going to take away with you? So, Taris, you want to go first? What did you get from today's session and what do you want to take away? What is your follow-up plan from today?
Really to take shelter of pure devotee and to not to take Gita for granted and what's written in it, Prabhupada's purport. And to read it seriously, more seriously and scrutinizingly.
Thank you very much. Prabhu, what did you take from today?
Lots of things, but well, first I would like to thank because the second part it actually showed me where I come from, from my position, which I was kind of saying that's where I came to Krishna consciousness came. It's to self-realize where you to find what level you are truly for yourself, and then you can actually to go ahead, because if you think, as Christians we think we are there, and then we haven't got any solid sort of basement to go forward, and then that's what I think I was struggling. So and I think now, obviously based on that, I can sort of contemplate and find the right association, because as we can see in the first point of the discussion, that was the association that's the critical point for us, because no other ways we're not going to be able, because endless dependencies and everything, it's just not possible. We're not I'm going to be struggling, big time. But that's the only point. So now it's to find that right association which actually can bring my feelings in, because I haven't got a feeling, I haven't gone through it. So
very nice point. You're saying that today's session helped you to realize where you are in the Krishna service, because we're thinking we're one of the Sukritinas, and we're not. We're actually got a misconception about where we are, and it's like we're not there, and we're thinking, why are they not working for me? We're on shaky ground. So you're saying it was really helpful to realize where you are, what your struggles are, and to realize it's natural I have these struggles, because that's where I am. But once you know where you are, then you can begin to work out. And you're saying your next step is to find the right association. May I invite you, please come next week. It's not just the right person, it's the training how to do it right. Anyone can be the right person if you're trained. So please come next week and get that training so that you know how to associate. Is that okay?
yes.
Do you want to carry on taking them around? The next person.
Thank you so much for this opportunity to say something. I really like spontaneous situations, because I understand that there's no time to think. You need to speak everything from the heart. And that's why I really like that. In this session, I was really go deeper to my relationship with God, because Krishna helped me to understand how he actually reciprocated me in my journey, in where I am at the moment. He showed me at some point, this is still not a really clear picture, but I already see this picture, how he's helping me, how he gave me mercy, how he's allowed me to to really be strong and have undoubtful faith to Him. And because of this, He helped me to come to Krishna consciousness. And most of the verses is only confirm of the stage of my consciousness. And I want to say that this day maybe a little bit changed me because I have many goals in my life, basically, which I want to fulfill in Krishna consciousness. But today I want to become more personal in my relationship with devotees, in Shastras, in Holy Name, and in everything that I'm doing. It's because this is the way how actually you can open your heart and can really experience the presence of Supreme Personality of Godhead in your life and really develop within relationship. Because from that is showing as well that there's why that happening, and from another point is because we have too much passion in ignorance. We cannot stop ourselves to being ourselves, to act in this life who we actually really are, and show our qualities, our value to ourselves, and respect values of other people. So I don't know, this class is so deep that I cannot just actually really say everything, because there's so much emotions which suppressed, but they want to open, but I think this is not ready yet. But thank you so much, that was really deep, and I promise for myself that I will give 30 minutes every day.
Wonderful. I just like, do you want to reflect back? I think one of us, if we take turns reflecting back what people say. I feel like reflecting, you do Ramananda if you like, okay. So Arthur, you were saying that today was actually quite transformational for you. You felt it was Krishna's reciprocating with the things that you've been harboring in your heart. If I didn't understand you correctly, do correct me. But you know, what you take away from it is you feel gratitude towards the Lord for reciprocating with you, and you want to actually start developing a personal relationship with devotees and Krishna, and you commit yourself to half an hour really taking shelter of Krishna every day. Because you were saying that there's so many things you want to achieve, but you've got to put that as your number one. That has to become your number one priority. Did I understand you correctly?
Yeah.
And you were saying that there's so much that's going on in your heart, and there's so much that's happening right now, but you can't reveal it all, but you just want to say that it has actually been impactful for you. Did I understand you correctly?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Will you come next week? Will you allow us to keep training you?
Yeah, I promise keep my study and come to this class.
Thank you. Just 3 more sessions, we have you, and then we can give you the training, and then we will work with you individually so you apply that training and get the results. So you're going to understand Ramananda.
Good luck.
Can you understand yourself?
So, yeah, thank you very much. I mean, I've heard you speak about these topics before, and I've really benefited. But I realised actually that I have taken it seriously, but I don't think I've really been sincere enough. And so I'm not beating myself up. I think I've realised that I've put off reading in this way because I want it to be perfect, in a perfect situation with a perfect person before I can actually start something. But it's so important because I've noticed in my life a lot of things have changed in the last year, and there's many different things that could happen, and I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen. But I haven't put this at the centre. You know, I've been thinking about stuff, but I haven't actually put the kind of reading and at the centre of it. I think that's obviously where the issue is really strongly as you were facilitating the session, and especially the definition of surrender. I'm going to really study that. That's what I'm going to take away from this, those 4 points. And I know you're going to go into more detail next week, but they're going to be very helpful to me.
I was saying that you've heard about this process before, about the importance of hearing and chanting and discussing Prabhupada's books, because you come to our sessions that we've done previously, like in Radhadesh, wasn't it? You came isn't it? But despite that, you haven't put it into practice as much as you like, as much as you think you should. You've put it off because you've been waiting for the ideal partner or something so that you can actually do it, a perfect situation, which never seems to happen, so it doesn't happen. And you're regretting that, and you're realizing that it could have helped you. Like you're in a stage of change in your life. You know, the last year you've undergone quite a lot of change, and now you're at sort of a crossroads. Different things could, you know, you're not sure what to do or what might happen in your life, and you realize that that neglecting this is at the heart perhaps of your problems, and you're not having clarity and not, you know, really seeing the way forward in a Krishna conscious way. So you're going to take away from this how to surrender. That, you know, that important point about the process of surrender, scrutinizingly studying the Gita with the help of a devotee without personally motivated interpretations.
And try to understand.
Try to understand it, yeah. So those things, you know, you're going to focus on that and try to put it into practice a bit more.
Thank you.
Do you understand?
Yeah, really well.
Thank you.
Will you come next week?
This chair's got my name on it.
That's what you do Fergus as well, because I did refuse you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, probably end up saying the same things as other
Doesn't that
people.
say it
but
anyway? So you start
yeah, I think being regular and doing this reading aloud, and, you know, all of this is going to make it clear. And yeah, being regular, and like I said, if you're executing, it should be happy. Happiness should naturally come about. And yeah, I went to a festival in Canterbury a few days ago, and I realised it being, you know, a long time. You know, if you do, it's like the lifestyle is a balance, isn't it? You can study, but then you can study too much. But yeah, I went to that festival and it was kirtan, dancing, so it reminded me of the joyful, fun side of yeah, this is a balance, and for me I need to read as well. Half, you know, read the Gita in the morning as I was. I just reminded you have good habits for a while and then you can fall out, and yeah, to reaffirm that kind of commitment. And, yeah, taking the time.
You're saying you want to, you know, rededicate yourself to doing more reading.
More reading.
Of the Bhagavad Gita. You were doing it previously.
Yeah.
And you recognise its importance, and that, you know, Krishna consciousness there has to be a balance. There's different things we can do. There's kirtan and taking prasadam and reading, associating with devotees. So you don't want to neglect this side of it. You feel like you have neglected it a bit. But you'd like to, you know, dedicate yourself again and make sure that you're reading, reading aloud, and, you know, so in other words, repeating what you're hearing.
Yeah, the more you're reading it aloud, and it's getting more like natural that you, like I said, thinking of your actions and how you go about doing your daily work in a kind of, with that in mind.
Yeah, so to help you spiritualize your activities in the day that you're going about doing
like
this work.
discipline, regularity, and because I do gardening, and that kind of applies to that, to do it, you know, nicely, tidying, and trying to approach it in that.
So did he understand you?
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
Fergus, will you come next week?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. We want to share the practical principles, Prabhupada said. He said talk about training. So next week, today we just talked about the importance of getting this right. Next week we'll start showing you the quotes from Prabhupada, things that we need to, the principles we need to find. So thank you very much. I'm going to try, I'll understand you.
Okay, like basically that I realize that I am protected by the Lord, that I depend upon the Lord. There is a word for that, it's called Sanatana. This is my desire to be Sanatana. I depend upon the Lord. And I think there are things changing and moving at the moment, but I think it's the Lord that is doing that. Because for some reason, like I have like spiritual goals, and those spiritual goals, I had always to, you know, put them apart, you know, and because I have been doing other services. And like I really like my services. Like I'm Pujari of Radha Govinda Chandra, and I'm also teacher in the Gurukula, and I like my services. But like all the goals that I have, I had to, make them wait and wait and wait. But I think it's the Lord that is doing something and is listening to my prayers in some way. And I have to really trust that He has a plan, that's going to set a plan. And I also want to pray for association, because it's like through this type of association that you discuss these topics, that you realize that He's there, He's listening, and He has a plan, and it's something is changing.
So you say you really, after today's session, you realize actually Krishna's protecting you.
Yeah.
You say you hadn't always seen it because things are happening in your life. That, though you like your external service, the services you do with your body, it's been your teaching in Pujari. It's not made you have to push aside your spiritual development, your spiritual goals. But today's session, you realize that actually everything that's happening, all the changes and apparent difficulties are actually the Lord pushing you in a direction which is for your benefit. And you'd like to try to cultivate this kind of association more, because it's in this kind of association that you begin to see Krishna's hand in your lives. Can I say it correctly?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Will
you.
you come next week? Would you
I
like
would
to
really like to, but I have to go back to Spain.
Bhagavad Thursday, we're going to have videos. Please watch it on the videos,
Okay.
and keep taking the training, even on video. Is
Okay,
that
I will do that.
We're gonna, well, someone can share it with you, but I don't know if we're friends on Facebook. But we're going to put it up on. We have a
We
web
can become
page.
friends
We have a
with
web
Facebook.
page
It's
called
very
Improve.
easy.
I'll give you this. We have a web page called Improving Our Sadhu Sanga. At the end of it, ask me, and I'll give you the details. And we'll put it up on that web page as well. Put all the videos on there. So watch all the videos on there.
Yes.
And,
Yes,
then
I will do
carry
that.
on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do you want to do Annabelle?
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for today. I'm very grateful because I feel today Krishna really answered me through both of you to some questions I had this last days and some troubles. And it's really funny to see how Manjari was saying to see Krishna's hands through devotees. And yes, I'm very, very grateful, and so grateful that thank you so much for sharing all of these self-realizations you had and all these tips. I mean, I think I don't even realize the value of it. Just at my level, I already see it's like really huge that you can share this with us, because without this, you cannot go anywhere. So I'm so grateful to have this now, because I know that it will make the difference. It will change everything. Thank you so much. So yes, I will be there next week, and definitely. And I really want to do this properly and to surrender to Krishna by giving 30 minutes a day and like by associating with devotees to read very attentively Bhagavad Gita. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're saying that this has really helped you, that it's answered some questions, that you had, and you can see Krishna's hand working through devotees, to help you in your spiritual life. And you're realizing how profound this is, that, this process of hearing and chanting, and how important it is. It's a very deep, and you're not even sure that you've actually understood it properly, and at your own level. But nevertheless, you do think it's something you can do and you want to do, and you're going to commit yourself to half an hour a day to try and surrender according to this definition that's given in the Gita, to scrutinizingly study the Gita in the association of other devotees. And you're looking forward to coming next week. You said you're committing to that.
Thank you so much.
Do you feel understood? Thank you. Do you want to do it?
Hare Krishna, I want really to thank you for this wonderful seminar, because we're actually applying what you are talking about, helping us and nourishing the devotee already here. So I'm so grateful for that. And what I take from it is so many, but one that struck me that when we read the quote about the message of the Lord are full of potencies, but we can only activate it by discussing these messages with other devotees, among other devotees. And that's so true that I realize that when I do read, it just sometimes seems to go through one ear, go to the other, it disappears. It just doesn't stay. And even when I read, I'm like, did I even read that? But actually, when we do the discussion, it stays, because I have this impression, I remember what this devotee said or what this devotee said. And I understand that in fact, Krishna is using us to speak, all of us, to reveal a part of us. He reveals different part to different person, and by putting all these little piece of the puzzle together, we get a bigger picture, a clearer picture of him. And it's really important. It gives us this joy in our life. I experienced that when I was here, first time when I was doing service with so many services, but we're doing service alone, and after I didn't get to see the ashram ladies. We were just passing, Hare Krishna. We are of course in the temple for the program, but we didn't get to have quality time speaking about this subject. And I felt becoming depressed because I didn't have this association. So I really appreciate you put this important activity in the front again. Well, thank you. And I definitely want to do this half an hour reading and discussing. Thank you.
Will you come
and
for the rest of the training?
I will come only for the last. I won't be there. I will go back to front, but I will be for the next two.
For the next two are the key ones if you're not married. If you're married, the last one is just for married. So I'd like to reflect back what you said, and you were saying that you found it a really helpful session. And a quote that you're going to take away from me with you is the one about how the messages of Godhead are full of potencies. But those potencies are only activated when we discuss them. And you were saying that really hits you because that's your experience. Your experience is you can read powerful thoughts. And then after reading the passage, you don't even know what you read. It's like you're not containing it. But you see in the discussion format, different devotees adding their bits, it's stuck with you. You go away and you'll be able to repeat something, and something is actually impacted on you. And you're saying, you had a very nice realization. You're saying that you can see how Krishna is actually talking through different devotees. And he gives to each devotee a different light that we share with each other. But actually it's Krishna, that light is coming from the Lord within our hearts. And you're committing to half an hour a day, scrutinizing, discussing Gita, and you come for the next two sessions. Did I understand you correctly? Is there anything that's important that I missed? Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for it today. I think you've got a lot of people committing to half an hour extra reading. It's so lovely to spend time with devotees because it's not something I get the chance to do very often. And I'll definitely be back for the rest of the course. Thank you very much.
We saw that Mataji walking down the driveway and even the Hillfield Lane, so she must have walked from home, I suppose.
Bushy, you walked for ages, didn't you? Watford.
Just for me, no, I've got the bus to the end of Hillfield Lane.
Still, it's about 20 minutes away.
That's sincere.
Yeah.
And serious. And serious.
We were just saying how grateful you are for the opportunity to associate with devotees, and like everyone here has so far said, they're going to commit to half an hour extra reading every day, and I think you're saying that you're going to try and do the same thing.
Yes.
Essentially. Thank you very much.
And you'll be back for the next sessions.
Thank you very much for your enthusiastic and loving sharing of your experiences, and I really appreciate it. In my life, obviously I have goals and challenges as well, and most of the time, by God's grace and Guru's grace, I do tend to see Lord's hands, but then sometimes I doubt. So what this seminar has made me again focus on and realize is that Krishna is in control. Just chill, I just need to chill. That's a good one. I think chill. And you're just reminding us what surrender means, your definition as you shared. And I'm really definitely thankful for that, because I'm committed as well as the rest of these students to do that at a minimum 30 minutes, and try to surrender to the Lord, because He is the one in control. He knows everything, what's happening. It's His plan.
So you're saying that, first of all, I didn't put you off with my passion. You're saying you found the passion okay. And but the most important point you're making is that, like every one of us, you have things that you're aspiring to achieve in life and obstacles to those aspirations. You said the majority of the time you manage to see Krishna's hand, but sometimes it gets to you. Sometimes the obstacles actually depress you, and you begin to think, oh. But today made you realize, hey, no, don't worry. Krishna is in control. And you can work smart rather than work hard. Rather than like try to push through every obstacle, chill. And spend half an hour discussing Gita every day. And Krishna is in control, he'll help you. And you're making that commitment to doing that every day. And will you be back next week to take the further training? Let's work with you, take you all the way through. Thank you so much. Should you sit there? That's your person.
Krishna, thank you so much for this session and motivating me to come for the session. So, and I really feel so fortunate that Krishna has given this mercy of your association. That's really, really fortunate. And today's sessions, practically, the way you revealed the meaning of surrender, that was something really interesting. That how you have been reading Bhagavad Gita for so many years and you've come out with this meaning of surrender. And reading sincerely and scrutinizing Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, I'm going to take that up.
And we're going to train your kids to do this too. We haven't
Thank you
forgotten
so
those
much,
children.
and also the meaning of association. Because most of the time association is just, kind of, it tends to become a social gathering so many times. And, just, it comes to the point where somewhere spiritually you feel dry. You are physically there, but you are not there. But this kind of association can keep us, as you said, that keep us fixed in Krishna consciousness, and we cannot go anywhere. Yes. So, thank you.
So you're very grateful for the opportunity to come to the sessions and our association and sharing our spiritual journey and this process with you. And it's something you'd like to put into practice, like you're saying. Surrender, the definition of surrender, that really struck you. That how we've understood that to mean this scrutinizing, taking shelter of Krishna. We're hearing from the Bhagavad Gita very seriously with the help of devotees, etc. And that's something you'd like to do. And also association, what it is, what real, proper Sadhu Sanga constitutes, because sometimes you mix with devotees, but you're not really getting much out of it. It's dry, you said, so, but when it's done the proper way, and it's nourishing and beneficial, and that's something you've experienced, and you want to, continue with that, and take more opportunities.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Shall I love you?
Yeah, I wanted to say so much about I'll try and make it short. I wanted to say I love your sessions, these sessions. I come to many of your sessions. I join your Thursday group. I just love it, but I kind of tend to slip because I'm always looking for somebody who will read with me, you know, because I need that, you know, association. And I have found the Thursday, and also I do Tuesday with another friend of mine, both by the Sadhu. And you know, when I sleep, I think, oh, I'm not okay. But as my father told my Prabhupada, my father actually spoke to Prabhupada, and my father used to talk to him about me. And he said I was going to be okay. So I do go up to him and I said, look, I don't feel okay. How can I be okay? So this is a good opportunity, you know, to have this Sanga together, and you know, keeps me in tune and focus, because I can sleep easily.
We all can.
I can sleep.
So you're saying that you really love the way we do Sadhu Sanga. You come to the Ladies Sanga on a Thursday, and these seminars, and you're doing it with Yashashni, I think?
Yes, and Kishore in the
And Kishore. And so those sessions, but it's in between when you have to do it alone that you struggle with. And that's when you stop, and that's when you feel discouraged. You think, I'm not going to make it. And you keep remembering how Prabhupada told your father you'd be okay, and you go to Prabhupada's words and you think, but Prabhupada, I'm not okay, I'm slipping. But, you know, you have this hope. If you carry on coming to these sessions, that maybe you will be okay. Did I say you correctly?
Yes.
Would you mind if I said something to you? That sometimes Krishna tests us with, because my husband explained at the beginning how when we began this in 1996, we began this, but in the beginning he couldn't do it all the time with me. When he'd come home and I'd be like, I read this and that, and he'd sit and discuss with me. But he was very busy at the time. He was TP in Manchester, he was the national secretary, and he was something else at Cuba. So he was really, really busy. And I'd be at home with the kids alone and struggling. So those 2 years, for 2 years it was like that. For those 2 years, I did it alone. Of course, when he'd come home, I'd ask him my questions. But just half an hour, and I will show everyone this, how to do it in the third session. Let's just learn the principles. If you don't have a partner, this applies to you too, Ramananda. If you don't have a partner, I will show you how you can use the same principles to do it alone. Because then Krishna, in my husband's heart, one day inspired him to say, I'm committing to doing this with you every day. But that was Krishna. You know? So Krishna will find you that steady partner. But first he may want to see that are you committed to him? Just make that commitment, because we have to realize this. We are going to drown if we don't make that commitment to Krishna Prabhupada. So make that commitment, whether it's enjoyable or not. I will half an hour, just do it alone if I have to, and I will show you how. Then Krishna will help you. And it may take you 2 years, it may take you less time, but Krishna will send you steady partners. Only Krishna can do that, but he can do miracles. Is that okay?
Thank you.
So the next Radha Shakti, so it's
Missed out.
Yeah. Who did I miss out? Oh, so sorry, sorry.
I mean-
So I think is it your turn to answer or my turn?
I'll answer, sorry.
Thank you, sir. Well, thank you very much for your passion. It's great, but I especially appreciate your commitment. Really, not only to this discussion, but also to us. You know, not giving up. I know that in many years you've been trying to convince us. So hopefully maybe we can do that. So thank you very much. But what I take away is what Prabhupada said, you know, the 716 that you read, you know, I really found my place also. So thank you very much. And what you said also about that quote, about, you know, with the difference of reading and scrutinizing. I just remembered, you said that the potency is there, we just need to activate it. And I remember the analogy Prabhupada uses with honey and jar. You know it's honey in there, unless we open it and, you know, taste the real honey.
This will help you get that honey jar open. This will help you get the honey jar open. The whole process we're going to share with you is getting that honey jar open, getting your hands in there, getting it into your mouth. So, did you understand that?
Something you're saying, you're grateful that my wife, Tutami, has persevered in trying to convince you of the necessity and the importance of this process. And the thing you took that really struck you is understanding your position. From like the Bhagavad Gita, that we may have had some mistaken conceptions of our position as regards being Sukratina or even Vaishnavas or something, but it's very clear that we're something else, and that's important for you, and also that the potency is there in the books, but to activate it, we need to come together and, as devotees, discuss them, and then that it will then work on us, the power of Prabhupada's works.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Yeah, actually I'm very grateful to Krishna that he never gave up on me, and you consider me like a friend, and you're always very encouraging. So, keep doing the discussion. I have slept, many times, I would say, but today really encouraged me, and I think Krishna is really pointing out to me that if you want me to help you, then you got to do what I need you to do, which is the discussions. And I showed him, I came on Thursday, and then yesterday is and so I'm trying to show Krishna that yes, I really want to do what you want me to do, and please don't give up. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Really, really grateful. So you said some very nice things about me, which I feel too shy to repeat. But the point that you took from today is that it's reminding you that if you want Krishna's protection, you have to commit to hearing him and scrutinizing. So though you do make the effort, but sometimes you have so much physical service where you didn't do it, but I read in between the words, I know that sometimes you just can't fit this in. But today's saying that you have to prioritize this. You can't just wear your body under the ground and think that Krishna is going to reciprocate with you wearing your body into the ground. You have to prioritize making some time where you can hear Krishna, and then Krishna will step in and help you with the rest. Did I understand you correctly? So, should we do Gopi first and then Prabhu? Yeah? Okay. And thanks for that.
I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for really dedicating yourself to helping others. I just find that this personal care to devotees is it just means so much. It's so important, and you've been so instrumental in my life. You've saved me from so much suffering, and I would say that that's the topmost happiness I've experienced. I've did lots of different types of services over the years. I have a wonderful child that I love. So when I come to these discussions, I feel like Krishna, there is nothing higher. I have never been more happy than being in discussion with all you and devotees. And I'm making some improvements. I'm trying to discuss with all my friends whenever we meet, and I feel it's really powerful. I feel so much joyful. It's really helping me to reduce my suffering. And I just want to say thank you so much. Please keep me close and don't give up on me. And thank you so much.
And you're saying how grateful you are that the care for devotees that it's been exhibited by Chintamani towards you, especially. Both of us. And saved you from a lot of suffering. And you're saying your life is not that bad. You have a nice, child and situation, husband and wife. But that the real happiness, the greatest happiness you experience is when you connect with Prabhupada, when you do the discussions, and you know, that gives you so much joy, and you're really thankful for that, and you know, you're saying, don't give up, asking my wife to keep you close and, you know, keep helping you, because she has already helped you so much, and especially these discussions, through the medium of discussions. Yeah.
Can I say something to that? I remember once someone made a comment like this to Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, don't put your faith in me, put your faith in Krishna. Even I may let you down. And so I really relish our discussions, our ladies' discussions. I love them. I actually go to them because I need them. But I just want to remind you guys that, you know, loving relationships between us will develop when we discuss, and we will begin to credit each other with that loving experience we're having. But it's coming from Krishna, and even when we lose each other, because we will lose each other, we mustn't lose the connection with discussing Prabhupada's principles. That loving connection will always come through that hearing of Prabhupada's principles. You know, it only seems like it's coming through us because we happen to be doing it together. But don't put the credit where it belongs. It's coming from Krishna through this hearing. You know, I don't want anyone to forget that, because then we feel dependent on a fallible soldier. The fallible soldiers were fallible, but Krishna is not fallible. Is that okay? So, would you translate for people?
Krishna,
I'm very thankful to you.
семинар.
It was a wonderful seminar.
Аз съм приятно впечатлен, че има толкова много хора, които се интересуват да повишат своето задълбочаване в Кришна съзнание, Кришна, и да станат щастливи в това краща. Това е целта.
He says, I'm really happy, surprised to see so many devotees coming to the seminar. They're really eager to deepen their association with Krishna, their practice.
Това, което аз съм разбрал за себе си, е, че първо трябва да разберем необходимостта от това да се прави семинар, какво ще ни помогне, дискусия, какво ще ни помогне.
First, what I understood for myself is that first I have to understand the necessity of doing discussion, how it's going to help me.
И второто, как да го правя по най-правилен начин, за да може да извлека най-добра полза от това нещо.
And the second is how I can do it in the best way so I can get the ultimate benefit.
И в дискусиите, които съм взел участие, подността на моя зет и дъщеря и вашата, също вашата подност.
And the discussions which I was taking part with my son-in-law, my daughter, and by your grace.
Когато сме я правили по правилен начин, т.е. по правилата, които вие ще обясните по-нататък.
When we were doing it in the right way, by the rules which you're gonna explain later on.
Човек влиза в една дълбочина, забива се надолу в дълбините на Кришна съзнание, потапя се в Кришна съзнание и просто за него се разкриват едни необятни хоризонти.
Okay, a person gets deep into Krishna consciousness, it's diving into some depth, and suddenly it opens unlimited horizons for exploring.
Благодаря ви за това, което правите и продължавайте все така и в пожелание да стават все повече и все повече желаещите да се включват в тези дискусии и да разберат как да правят.
Thank you for what you're doing, for your service, and I pray that you may continue. And my wish is that more and more groups of discussions are forming, and more and more devotees get into that habit.
May I repeat back? So you're saying that, first of all, you're very happy to see devotees taking an interest in this. And what you took away from today yourself, do you want to repeat? So Amy feels interested.
Okay, че много следва, че тя представя сега, че вижда, че ти виждаш, че много прегледно даден взимаш участие.
And what you took away from it today is how important it is to discuss Prabhupada's books and how important it is to discuss them in the correct way.
Значи това, което ти ще занесеш вкъщи за себе си, е колко е важно да изучаваш книгите на Прабхупада и колко е важно да правиш по правилен начин.
And you're saying that in your experience, when you've done the discussions using the rules that we're going to show you in the next couple of weeks, you've been able to see things in Prabhupada's purport and get wisdom that you couldn't have got before. You said it opens up horizons. You see things that you've never seen before.
И ти казваш, че когато нещата се правят, искат се прави по този начин, по който ти се покажеш, ти всъщност си получил нещата, които не си могъл да разбереш, да получиш и хоризонтите си по-добре.
And you said that it is your wish and your prayer that more and more small discussion groups open using these principles, that more and more devotees begin starting their own discussion. And that is our wish and our prayer. Thank you. Sadhu, it's your first one.
I'm wanting to come to this course for a long time, and I'm really grateful that I could come, first of all, today, and thank you so much for consistently, offering this course. And how long has it been running? I wanted to ask.
When we first came down, we started trying. We've been doing it for a long time. Not, we did it like once a year or something.
18 years. Wow. Okay. Thank you. Something that I take away from today is that discussion is like this bridge from being passive to interactive, and I'm really grateful to every single person in this room for being part of this overall discussion, because I just learned so much more than I would on my own, because everyone is sharing something so unique. Every single person is so special to Krishna, and it really comes alive when you're in a room full of devotees. It's like the rarest thing. Do you ever read him where I said the association of devotees is like, or he said that devotees are like rarer than the dodo, they're like a rare species. We're very grateful. And sometimes my reading can be sporadic, so I really appreciate having got this kind of enthusiasm from everyone to really commit. And there's so many little gems I've taken away, and it's, continue going on, but I'll stop now.
You say how grateful you are that we've assisted in presenting this course, because we've wanted to attend it for some time, but been unable to for various reasons. But finally making it, and you're seeing the value of it, how discussions, you said, are like a bridge between passive and active that brings it to life, brings the Shastra to life. And you've experienced that today in the association of all the devotees here, how it's really helped you, and you're grateful to everyone because the things they've shared has helped you to gain realizations that you would never have got otherwise. So you can see the value, the benefit of Sadhu Sanga and discussing together the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. And, I think that we're going to continue coming.
Ramadan said my name's on this chart. I want to remember where it is.
You mentioned how Dave Ramikita was saying the rareness of devotees. They're more rare than extinct species. So that's a wonderful opportunity.
And I think you also said 30 minutes today you're not going to be.
No.
You're going to get the highest view. You're going to let Krishna get
Yes,
involved.
prioritize it, he said.
Prioritize. Let Krishna get involved. All your troubles will be much less trouble.
And then I can chill with Korea.
I don't know how much you chill.
We're not getting Krishna here.
I'm allowing him to take the world with work miracles. And he to work miracles in our lives, and that's why I'm just so passionate. I think, well, why just us? Why not everyone? So thank you so much for coming back. Thank you so much for doing it.
That's the result.
Should we end by offering our obeisances to each other? I will do that when the Sadhu Sanga
Haribo.
Thank you so much. See you next Saturday, same time, same place. Thank you. Oh, please do hand us in if you want us to stay in touch with you. Your name, your whatever, your details, and whatever comments you want to write from today's session.